Well, hey guys, welcome to another video brought to you by Fitness Technology Services. Today's video is going to be on about converting your older MC2100s to the newer MC LTS 30s. They're actually an MC 1618 DLS. That's the newer number that they go by. I'll go over that a little bit more as we kind of get into this. But the first thing I want to do is I just want to show you. You probably have, if you have an older machine, you probably have this style motor controller in there. Hopefully I'm doing a good job where you can see it. This motor controller requires the circuit breakers across your thermo switches, I guess they actually call it, inside your motor. Then your AC hot and your AC neutral. Your incline is a 5-pin connector, but the newer ones are only 3 because only 3 is needed to make your incline work. They deleted this transformer, so you won't need this transformer anymore. The most important thing really is that most of them have, but you got to make sure, an 8-pin main wire harness hookup. And then the secondary, this is for your incline sensor, that needs to be a 3-pin incline sensor hookup. Most of the time they only use 2, but then it won't fit inside the port. Alright, so as you can see, hopefully those numbers are nice and easy for you to read out. That's an MC2100. That's really the beginning of that. That's all I got to say on that. It's also an MC2100WA. So let me grab the other one real quick and show you some of the differences. So on the newer models, I'm hoping I'm doing a good job on that. DC motor hooks up about the same. The thing that's really important is the 8-pin main wire harness is located here. It was located here on the other one, and still got the 3-pin secondary harness for your incline sensor. All of them have a, even the older one, a 2-pin speed sensor from your motor itself. Alright, the other difference is this is a transformer now. That's why the newer units don't need a transformer. It's built onto the control board itself. The other change is the incline now goes over here. It's only 3 pins. That doesn't really matter too much because they only use 3 pins. It no longer has a hookup for the circuit breaker or thermo switches on the motor. It just got a neutral and a load. Alright, so there's a little bit of wiring configuration difference. You really don't even need to use the thermal breakers inside of a motor. I've been doing it 30 years, never seen it trip. But it's there for a reason, so since you have it, we'll wire it back into our new board. Alright, so that's really it for introducing the new board to you guys. I just want to show you the difference in them. So let's get started and we'll install these bad boys, alright? Thanks a lot, see you in a sec. Alright, let's get started. So we're going to change out this older, still works, MC2100 reversion 3. Again, I don't think any of that really matters. Could be some software changes, I don't know. To this newer, used to be called LTS 30, and now I think I said it's a 1618 DLS. Alright, a bunch of different part numbers. I actually have this on my website, so it's pretty easy to look this up. Probably just Google Nordictrack motor controllers at Fitness Parts Pro. Should pull up. If not, you can always email me or call me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I guess you can see that there's a power light on here. So the first thing I always like to do is unplug it. So we know we're nice and safe. Tools I guess you will need for this will be a Phillips head. I'm going to use my drill because it's a little quicker and has a Phillips head on it, and either a flat head, very small, or even really the end of a razor blade where you can kind of pry it into some of these ports, because I don't want the wires to get stuck down inside of there, and neither do you really. Alright, so let's get started. I'm going to remove this mounting screw. Alright, so when you're changing these over, there are some things that the newer board just doesn't take, so we can eliminate them right away. It doesn't take this circuit breaker. It has direct AC hookup. I'll show you how to add that in later on, but for first, I just want to get it started, all right? Doesn't take this transformer, and that's kind of what you need. This little flathead, so you can kind of press in here. So we'll just get rid of that altogether. Doesn't bother me that it's sitting there. This, I guess, really is the main thing you need it for, because this has a tendency to get stuck. That's still hot. Come on, baby cakes. There we go. And again, make sure it's unplugged. That's 110. It's not as hot as I thought. Just scared me a little bit warm. Still got our AC hooked up. Our motor is always marked on these controllers, red and black, so I feel pretty safe about that. You can always take a picture of what your original setup was, but your new setup's going to be a little different. Not too much though, but we're safe on these motor wires. So another place I like to use the screwdriver is on that port. That one feels a little tough, so I want to make it a little easier to come out. That's the incline sensor. And this is the main wire harness. Remember, the key to switching out this is this has to be 8-pin. All right. So I guess the important part of it all is also we have to make sure we pay attention to hot and neutral. So we're going to take that out there. We're going to pull these two off. Make sure it's turned off. Since this is the AC wires up here and the DC wires for the motor are back here, I'm just going to switch them bad boys. Probably should have done it that way in the first place, but I didn't. Put the screw back in. Alright, so neutral and load. So that on this is black and white. Neutral is almost always white. Believe it or not, it's not always, but in Nordictrack and Icon's case it is. So there we got our power. Now we're going to do our incline motor. So this is mounted in a different spot. Don't forget on the video before this. So we're just going to plug that in right there. Be careful with that because this is 110 also once you turn the machine back on. Alright, so then we're just going to continue with our obvious ones. This is our red. That will go to motor positive. Black, motor negative. Alright, take them out. Well, not yet. We'll leave them out a little bit. Main wire harness, 8-pin. Incline wire harness, 3-pin, but it really only uses 2 wire. But the 2-pin port won't fit in there. And I guess I'll plug the speed sensor back in on the little 2-pin port. Just a reminder, don't use this. This is a data cable connection. I don't even know what they use it for, maybe for their newer iFits on some of their newer treadmills, but don't plug into that. And so that's really about it. That doesn't have any of the breakers in it. That doesn't have the thermal breaker inside the motor in it. So I'm going to plug it back in. This is just straight AC. And you will see the pretty little lights. And you should hear the console come on. I know you can't see that because you're looking at this board. But this is showing us that everything's working good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back apart enough just to inline this breaker and this thermal breaker in here. Alright? I'm going to unplug it again. Make sure everything's nice and safe. See? Nothing plugged in. Alright, so we're going to need to take apart the neutral on this because I like to leave my hots alone. Because this doesn't have the 2 thermal breaker connections on the board. So if you want to use that, you got to do it yourself. Alright, so let's get these wires out of here. So I think this wire is too much, just too long. So we don't need the extra jumper. I don't know if your machine will have that or not, but I just thought I'd show you that. I'm gonna not really throw it away, but toss it to the side. All right, so you want to break this neutral in half basically and route the electricity, the neutral side of the electricity, through these thermal breakers and in and out of this on-off switch. So we already have one hooked up going into the on-off switch. So we should have another side somewhere. All right, so we have another side. Now luckily these will only, sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Here's the other side of the thermal breaker. So the pathway of electricity, neutral, is going through here, in and out of here, over to here, to the controller. So we're only picking on the neutral. So then we are going to plug the neutral in. As you can see, they're male and female connections, so not too hard to figure out really, but I just want to help you out as much as I can. Then the remaining side of the breaker, on and off switch, thermal breaker, is going to hook back in, you know, the crummy ends, but beyond me having crummy old ends. Alright, so the neutral is broken. It's running in and out of the on and off switch, back out of the on and off switch, through these thermal breakers, back into the neutral side again. So what we're going to do, I know you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to see the lights come on, and you'll be able to hear the console come on. Alright? So I'm getting ready to plug it back in. Power light, contact light, console sound. So now I'll be able to turn it on and off from the switch. And also the newer controller boards have a lot more light configuration to them. They'll let you know when the incline's going up, when the incline's going down, but you have to look at my video installing the soul motor controller. I go into a lot more detail. This is probably something I should have done before I did the installing the soul motor controller, because this is taking it from the old style to the new style. But better late than never, I guess. So I guess you should really tie wrap this stuff up. I'm not going to, because I'm going to putz around with it and do another video. Anyway, that's it for today. I thank you so much for viewing. I hope this helps. This at least will get you into the current model controllers, so that way if you ever need to order parts or anything, you'll be able to see that. Again, please visit me at fitnesspartspro.com, and I'll take care of you. Alright? Look forward to doing another video. See you again shortly.